Hi, and welcome to the Backyard Road Trips podcast. I'm Zack.
I'm Jim.
And today we have a very special guest with us. We have Andrieux.
Thanks for having me. I think this is going to be a lot of fun in the pre-recording chat. I think we're having a good time. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how this conversation goes.
Definitely.
It's only our 18th take, so we're doing pretty well. We're doing pretty well. So Angela, can you tell us, just introduce our audience to who you are?
Absolutely. So again, my name is Angela Andrieux. I'm a fine art photographer and photography coach, photography educator, and I work for a company called Mylio. So a little bit about my background. I got into photography. My husband is now retired military, and right before we moved overseas, he gave me my first DSLR camera. And then we went and lived in Italy for 4 years. I fell in love with photography, and by the time we came back, I had taught myself how to use my camera. I taught myself what settings and stuff meant, and decided I am now a photographer. Hung up my shingle, and the rest is kind of history. I went from taking pictures of people, which wasn't really well suited for me. I prefer taking pictures of places and beautiful things. People are awesome, but they also can be hard to work with. So for portraiture and stuff like that. So I never went the wedding route. I instead went into fine art photography and hopefully making pictures that speak to people emotionally, that they'd want to maybe look at in their homes, look at on their walls and things like that. And that led me into creative photo editing and how to organize my pictures. And I started writing about that stuff on my blog. And that's how I got into photography education, is teaching people what I was learning as I went. And that grew into my coaching business. And eventually I started working with photography software companies. And so fast forward many years to now, I'm working with Mylio. And Mylio Photos, the application that we make, is a digital asset management tool that helps you organize your lifetime of memories.
Oh, wow.
So I've gone like full spectrum on this. So I've gone from, I create my own images, but I also help people protect their memories. And I've started teaching about scanning and backups and how to get your lifetime of memories into one place and be able to have it accessible to you and organized.
You must now be dealing with people who had old photos, not just what's on their camera on their phone, but...
Exactly.
Wow. Is this like part of a service where like people will send something in, you'll like scan higher resolutions, or what are you offering with that?
So we have people that we work with that do that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. But what we do is we make the software that can power that library that you build. So wherever you're bringing your images in from, then we help you organize it. And we can certainly give direction on if you want to do it yourself, scan and preserve all that stuff yourself. We have people that we work with that we can connect you with if you want someone to guide you through it or even do it for you. And then they can bring that all together in the software, teach you how to use it. And there you go. You have your entire library organized and accessible on all of your devices. The cool thing about our software is it is cloud independent. And what that means is your devices, you can still access it on Mac, Windows, iOS, and Android. But everything is stored locally on your computers, your hard drives, and your devices talk directly to each other. Cloud is optional. If you want to use that as a place to store stuff, that's awesome. But we're super, super privacy centric. So instead of having to put all your stuff up in the cloud, you have full control over all your stuff.
That's great. I know it's a big pain point for people who are like, I just got to pay to have my own stuff, like on a cloud subscription, and that's great.
And pay every month for the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want that.
Yeah, and it's really, there's a lot of good that can come out of it, and a lot of family connections and stories, and being able to preserve all those memories is so important.
How'd you get hooked up with them?
So in the photography software world, it's a pretty small world, and everybody who works at every company knows each other. And I happened to stumble onto this opportunity from the last place I was working, and it was a great step up for my career. And so I jumped for it.
Congratulations.
Now, do you do video archiving too, or is it just purely photo?
Excellent question. So yeah, Mylio can handle video files. So all of those videos you create with your phones, or if you're a content creator and you want to have a place to put your video files, you can absolutely put those into Mylio Photos and have them organized.
So like my 2-hour VHS tapes
Well, and yeah, if you get those digitized and you want to put those into your library, you certainly can. My dad actually has sent off all of my grandma's videos that she had from, after she passed. Got all these videos that are all in various levels of degradation, had them all digitized, and then gave each one of us kids a thumb drive. And those do reside in my Mylio library. So I can pull those up on the fly and be able to watch old home movies on my phone.
That's cool.
Nice.
Yeah.
It is really.
Yeah. It's way cool.
It must be a lot of nostalgia too, kind of going through and just while you're going through your own library or whoever it is that's doing that. So that's great. So with photography itself, so you were moving to Italy, you said, and this is when you started your photographic journey.
Yeah, that's when I really got into it. I dabbled before that. When I was really young, I had some film cameras when I was a kid, but processing film was really expensive when you're like 12 years old. So I started to get a little older, and by the time I was getting out of college, that's when digital was first starting and becoming more commercially accessible and attainable for somebody who didn't have like a ton of money. It still wasn't cheap to get into, but I got my first digital camera and I started playing with it. It was a lot of fun, had a huge learning curve. And then a few years later, that's when my husband got me the big camera. And, then it just took off from there.
Was he the one that picked out the Canon for you? Or did you have some say? Yeah. Are you happy? Well, you stuck with Canon, right? So you must have.
I still shoot Canon. And the reason I think he picked that same one is that's the same camera my mom has or had at the time. And so I had already picked up hers and was like, oh my gosh, this is so fast. This is so cool. I love it. And so he went and bought me one.
That's nice. Was your first camera also a Canon? Like, could you switch the lenses or did you have to get a whole new with the full frame?
I didn't have any lenses. I didn't have anything. So my camera that I had before I got the DSLR was the little tiny, I think the brand was Kyocera.
Okay.
And it was a 3.3 megapixel point and shoot.
A potato,
and that was my first digital camera. Before that, I think I had a Pentax, 35 millimeter. And I think I had a 110 camera, like a Vivitar or something way back in the day.
How long after you got into like getting your real, I think you call it your big girl camera, but like how long after that were you starting to like shoot in like raw and manual mode and like, really exploring? Because you said you learned a lot of how to use your camera. I would say
probably 18 months to 2 years after I got it. So, I first just focused on capturing memories, pretty much kept it in auto, didn't know what I was doing. I would read the manual and it all sounded like Greek to me. I didn't you tell me an ISO or an aperture, I was like, I can read it, but it still wasn't jiving. While we were living overseas, I actually joined a camera club, a photography club that was on the base. And a lot of us had fancy cameras that we didn't know how to use. And there were a handful of people in the group who actually did know and understand photography. And so they kind of took us under their wing and taught us and had exercises of here, try these different settings and see what you get. And that's how I visually learned what an aperture was, what that does, how that affects the picture. A shutter speed, and started building on that from there. So if anybody's getting into photography and wants to really learn, I say join your local camera club.
It's a great tip.
That's cool. Yeah, absolutely. Now, when did you, from learning the camera to then deciding to make this into your career, what was that kind of transition for you?
Well, while I was living overseas, I was taking some cool pictures because, how can you not when you live in Italy?
Sure.
And occasionally on the base, there would be craft fairs. And so I set up a little table and occasionally sell a print here and there. And I was like, well, this is pretty cool. So I built a website and started putting more of that stuff on my blog. And people were like, hey, I want to buy that photo. Like, great. And so it just kind of built organically.
Oh, that's great.
That's cool.
Can I ask a stupid question? And I hope you don't.
Sure.
You're too far away to throw something at me like a tomato for the stupid question. But so, okay, you say that you like fine art photography. Are you taking pictures of fine art, or is the pictures you're taking a fine art picture?
The picture I'm taking is a fine art picture. Okay. So in general, photographing somebody else's artwork, unless it's part of a bigger story, that's kind of borders on copyright infringement type stuff. So I have a picture of a guy in San Francisco with this really cool mural behind him. So that's photographing somebody's artwork, but it was his interplay with that mural that actually was really interesting and made the photo. So if it layers onto a story, I don't mind including somebody else's artwork in there. But in general, I try to make it my own vision of whatever how I see the world.
Thank you for clarifying. I could imagine a really niche sort of museum needs to hire people because, like, so you want to see the painting, but you also need to have a picture of the painting for people to know about it. That's a whole different skill. Okay.
Yep, it is.
You said that you're not interested in portraits. You were really interested in like sort of still or...
Mostly. I mean, occasionally I'll photograph people. I'll do a portrait shoot for a friend here and there. I've had people ask me to do their weddings and I'm like, no, I love you, but no. But for the occasional friend, I will still shoot portraits and I still try to polish my skills in that area. So I still belong to camera clubs today. I do workshops. I attend workshops and learn to build my own skills. And so I do occasionally photograph people. It's just not my main thing.
Okay.
Where are you located currently?
Southern California.
Okay,
I'm near San Diego.
Oh, poor you.
I know.
Yeah.
It's rainy and dreary here. You wouldn't think that it's summer in Southern California right now.
Oh, wow.
I didn't know it ever got rainy and dreary in any part of California except for...
Right, it never rains in Southern California, isn't it?
It's kind of that monsoon thing. It's really warm and it's raining kind of like when I don't know, it's bizarre weather right now.
Yeah.
We've had it's been a really hot summer up here in the Northeast, but the last 2 weeks have been just gorgeous. Beautiful. I would say.
Yeah.
So
not muggy, just 70s and breezy.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be the false fall though? I mean, really, is it going to come back and bite you?
It will.
I hope it does get warmer. Because do you have a garden? Because I have a garden that's needed another month.
I have some plants. I don't have much space for garden. I live in a condominium, so
my garden. We've had two zucchinis this year, Jim. 2.
Oh,
so
really? Oh,
better than 1 last year, and a bunch of tomatoes, but they won't turn red. So might be green.
I thought zucchinis were supposed to be like the gift that keeps on giving. Like you can't not eat all the zucchini.
We've gone up from 0. We've had a garden for probably at least, 7 years. Went from about 0 vegetable. I mean, a bunch of plants planted, but about 0 actual vegetables or fruit. And then 1 last year, 2 this year. So, things are on the upswing. So,
all right.
Yeah.
I just hear the horror stories from my husband of his mom planting.
Uh-oh, that rainy monsoon got her.
Uh-oh.
Angela, come back to us.
A couple of you guys.
We lost you, but you're back.
Everything froze for a second.
Okay.
Yeah.
Get the IED. Okay. You're back. Your husband did something.
His mom had these 2 zucchini plants and he ate zucchini all summer long and there was so much zucchini left over. She was freezing it and they were just eating it. Like it just wouldn't stop. And it took him years before he'd eat zucchini again.
That was I think I had a year of asparagus like that, but it was off in the store from my growing up. We have ironically arugula and chives that grow kind of wild in my small yard. So
that's cool.
Things that I actually eat. Jim has like a legit garden with plenty of hot peppers that he's made me sacrifice my taste buds to.
Nice.
Yeah. Best friends. Yeah, go ahead.
It sounds like you've lived a lot of different places. Like tell us a little bit about your own journey, and maybe about some memorable photo road trips that you've taken along the way.
Oh my gosh, I've taken some pretty epic road trips. So my mom is also a photographer and we travel together whenever we can. We've taken some really cool trips along the Oregon coast, up the coast of California. Earlier this year, I did a road trip out to Nevada, saw some cool stuff that way. And my mom and I are actually going to be road tripping around Scotland here in a couple of months.
Ooh,
nice.
Wow.
You mean Scotland, Connecticut, right? They're really small town.
Nope. We're heading to the UK.
Very cool.
How long are you going for?
17 days.
Wow.
Nice.
Oh, boy.
Right?
For you.
That's fantastic.
We had too many things we wanted to see, and it's just like it just kept getting longer and longer. I'm like, okay, I think this is the max I can take off of work before I get fired. So like, let's do it.
Wow. So you're going to definitely bring in your camera, I'm assuming.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah, we've been buying actually, new memory cards and stuff. Like we're getting ready.
Do you got to get like a power adapter so you can charge your batteries and their freaky power?
I mean, we have to get the plug adapter.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
Most stuff for like, consumer electronics is dual voltage these days. So you don't have to have like an actual converter.
Oh, nice.
You just have to change the shape of the plug.
Okay. Well, that's easy.
It has like the spaced out 2 instead of the 3.
I think it's actually like it's 3, but it's like they're angled and it's in a circle.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think for the UK. I don't know. I still need to buy those.
It's only electricity. Why should we standardize anything? It's
Of course, yeah.
It works differently there or here.
Everything, they changed it in the UK. Everything had to be USB-C for, iPhones and everything else. But plugs, that doesn't matter.
Total chaos.
Everything USB-C, but it doesn't matter. You still have to plug it into something.
Yeah, right.
So again, we as backyard road trips here, we like to take our own journeys, but as fathers, both Jim and I, we don't really get to go too many faraway places such as Scotland. Maybe Scotland, Connecticut, which is down the road from Jim. Do you have any favorite backyard road trips that you've been on, either close to home or ones that could be more of a figurative backyard road trip?
Yeah, absolutely. So here in San Diego, we're really blessed to have gorgeous places everywhere. One of the cool road trips to take from San Diego is to go east out to Anza Borrego Desert State Park. And whether you go out there for a day trip or you go out there, you spend a couple of days, there's these really cool sculptures. I'm trying to remember the artist's name. He built out there in the desert. And there's like scorpions and dinosaurs, and they're giant. And you can go out there and take a look at those. There's just some amazing scenery. If you go in the spring, if we've had good rains, we'll get a super bloom of flowers out there in the desert. It looks really cool.
Wow.
So that's a great day trip. Another one that I like to take is up to the Temecula Valley. So I love wine. And Temecula is about an hour north. And we'll go up there and spend a weekend every now and again and enjoy wine country.
Nice. Awesome. Sounds great. I love San Diego. I love the fish tacos and the beach and Ballast Point and Stone beers and just everything about the city, the walkability and the weather and being on the ocean and having to kind of look at this endless coast. So
yes,
certainly jealous. One of my favorite cities.
So you're a wine girl.
I do. I enjoy wine. I drink beer every now and again too. We've got some great craft breweries here in San Diego. But I do tend more towards the wine.
What's your favorite local? You got to go for one thing. What are you drinking?
For beer, for wine, or for just in general?
Unfortunately, this is just, you can only pick one for the rest of your life. That's how this works now.
It's a commitment.
Yeah, it's real.
It'd have to be a red wine from the Temecula Valley.
Wow.
Probably from Robert Renzoni.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right. So sponsored by we'll get the winery on here, and we're sponsoring this episode. Okay.
And it's healthy. It's healthy, right? Isn't red wine supposed to be good for you?
Yeah. So I mean, in moderation.
Right. Yeah. Just a bottle a day. It's nothing, a bottle a day.
Is there a particular red? Are you some Zinfandel?
I'm pretty partial to a good Zinfandel or a really nice Cabernet Sauvignon. It depends on the grower, it depends on the winemaker. And every year is a little bit different. So the vines might produce something really good this year for this type of grape. And then the next year it's something amazing on this type of grape. And so it really depends. It's very seasonal. And, each winery, even in that same region, the wines can be very different depending on how they make them. So
do you have a favorite?
There's a lot of depth to it that I had no idea.
When did you get into wine?
Ooh.
2004, Sideways. No, that movie, no?
Oh, yes, I know.
Yeah.
I'm originally from San Luis Obispo, which is like about an hour north of where all that was filmed.
Wow.
Oh, one of my good friend's daughters goes to school in San Luis Obispo.
Nice. That is an amazing area too.
Mm-hmm. It looks like
and lots of good wine up there too. So, but when did I get into wine? I mean, it kind of grew over the years. When I was in my, early mid-20s, I started drinking a little bit of wine, but it wasn't until, again, probably around the time that I lived in Italy, which was my late 20s, early 30s.
Yeah.
Good place to get into wine.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. That I really started to learn more about it. And then we have a lot of family who works in the wine industry, so we've been exposed to it for a long time.
That's cool. What's the
Jim,
best wine you've ever had? I've made, no, actually I've never.
Jim homebrews and makes mead and makes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Made with
My
honey.
husband tried to make some mead once. It didn't go well.
Yeah.
He has made a really good cider though.
Ciders
and he's tried a couple of beers to varying success. We had one that exploded in our bathroom over here because our bathroom, where we have the cat's bathroom, actually, that's his brew room also.
Right.
So, because we don't use that room, like it's just like,
right.
Go put your brewing stuff in there. And after he bottled, we had some explosions.
of a cider.
I think this was of a beer, actually. I think I'm trying to remember if this was an amber or I don't remember. The couple that actually survived, they were pretty good. But
really fizzy, though,
They were fizzy.
Oh, that's fun.
A little too much sugar.
Too much, yeah. There's still some yeast left, huh?
But we haven't dabbled with the brewing in a while. But we've got all the kit for it out in the garage.
You got to make one now. I guess.
I know.
You just got to try. Can you import some grapes from Italy and make your own wine? What's the law on that? We have
family up in Temecula that has a winery, and we just drink their wine.
Even better. That's yeah.
Is it on your husband's side?
On my husband's side, yeah.
That's pretty amazing.
His uncle is part owner in a winery up there, and yeah, it's awesome.
Oh, that's great. All right,
good connection to have. I know, good family to have. Yeah. Trying to think if I can get anything from my family. I don't know.
Childcare. That's what all our
once in a while.
That's actually really high value dollar thing there.
Sure is.
Once in a while.
Yeah.
Maybe some help on a math test if I was ever going to take a math test again.
We're going to go back to you being a photographer because you're also a photography coach for people who have their only phone is just a camera phone.
Me.
Yeah, Zack, me, myself, too.
Jim, did you ever so let me just interrupt for 1 second. Jim is a bit of a photographer himself. He's being a little, I don't know if we should say, just shy.
Handsome?
Shy, modest. Yeah, there we go.
Modest.
Yeah, shy and Jim is really the words I think of when I think of those two. But Jim, did you ever get more equipment? Or you sold your?
I did.
Okay.
I did not. I did sell it and I did not replace it. My Angela, my wife, needed new brakes for her car and we had a newborn. And I thought that was more important than photography equipment. So I sold it.
Yeah.
Got new brakes. She doesn't have that car anymore, but I still don't have the equipment. So well, good trade overall. Thank you. So I was going to ask if you had tips that you can give people who common problems that you probably see with people who take pictures on their phones and what they could do to easily improve their pictures.
So the one thing that I think of is treat your phone like it's a real camera. Try to have a good stance. Instead of just sitting here with your phone out in front of you and pushing a button, hold it closer to you. Give yourself a good steady platform to, brace yourself. Use most of them, you can use the volume button on the side as a shutter button. Treat it like a real camera. And then as far as creativity, get creative with your angles. When you're standing at eye level, that's probably the most boring picture you can take. Get up high if you can, get down low. I've seen a lot of people who flip their phone kind of upside down, have the lens at the bottom, and then that lets them get even lower. And you can get different perspectives. And, be creative. Don't be afraid to try things. And just have fun. But yeah, treat your phone like it's a real camera and get to know your settings because you can modify a lot of the settings in an iPhone, not so much as you can on, a DSLR or mirrorless camera, but there's a lot you can do to control what that final picture is going to look like. So
that's cool.
Awesome. Well, that's good tips.
I'm going to take those tips. Yeah. I don't know if I'm taking a picture or anything right now, but in general, that's cool.
Is there anything people do that's bad? Like, stop doing this. I see
taking selfies with, blocking traffic. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
TikTok
the
videos.
thing, going and taking pictures where they're going to ruin it for everybody else and get everybody else kicked out at some point. That's the stuff that irritates me. It's like, okay, be conscious of the fact that you're affecting the world around you when you're out taking pictures.
I like the way you put that. Very diplomatic.
Mm-hmm. Now, here's this is echoing Jim a little bit about a dumb question, but we're talking about early digital cameras is 3.1 megapixels. Your standard iPhone now, how many megapixels would that be? Does anybody know?
I think my iPhone 14 is, I want to say, capable of up to 40 something megapixels.
Wow. Okay. So but
it's a really tiny sensor. So it's not the same as 40 megapixels in a DSLR or mirrorless camera.
Okay.
But it's still, the quality there is far superior to what my little 3 megapixel point and shoot is that I had when I first started.
Right. And that's interesting too, because I think of the iPhones being so expensive. I mean, what are they now? $1,000 or something for a new phone? But when you're looking
Which one are you buying? The ones I look at are close to $1,500.
Oh, geez, seriously?
Oh my God,
it's been a few years. Okay. My God. All right. Maybe I'll eat my words on that. I was like, well, okay, if it's $1,000, if you're paying for this camera, and back then the point and shoot was probably going to be about $400, right? So,
yeah.
But Yeah. So never mind. I'm gonna just I'll stop while I'm ahead.
Well, the thing with the phones is they are not just a camera. They're a camera that we have with us. They're
Right.
also our GPS. They're also
Right, exactly.
they're a little computer in our
Yep.
pockets.
Yeah.
So if you take it in the entirety of what it can do for you and all the other devices that you used to have to carry,
Yeah.
carry, a Walkman or a Discman, and then later an
Mhm.
iPad or iPod, and then you had your separate Garmin for your GPS, and you had all these different things. Now it's one thing,
Right.
and it does, it has a lot in there. So
Totally.
in that respect, you're buying a pocket computer
Mhm.
that happens to take pictures and do a pretty darn good job at it.
Right. Yeah. No, that's definitely true. I just didn't know they were $1,500. Oh my God. Okay.
Well,
I'm not going to
it
drop.
depends on what you get. I
Right.
usually, if I'm going to buy one, I'm going to go for, whatever the Pro model is. So this is the 14 Pro that I have now. I'll probably get, I think it's a 17 coming out this year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm about ready to upgrade. So I'm waiting for Apple's announcements to see what's coming. But yeah, between inflation, all of those things, prices going up, I think tariffs and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
I think this year they're probably going to be pretty steep.
Totally.
Do you look for camera stuff on your iPhone? Is that a selling point for you?
Absolutely.
Really?
So, yeah, I mean, if the camera stuff in there, I want to be able to take a really good picture. Now, I'm not going to upgrade every year just because they put in a new camera feature. That's, that's not my main camera, so it doesn't have to be the latest, greatest every year. But every so often, I'll look at it and go like, okay, that is going to make a big difference in my life because I love to take pictures. Yes, that's worth paying for. But I'm not going to do that every year because I can't buy a new camera, a new iPhone every year.
Right.
You don't want the tax write-off,
Well, there's other things I can write off too.
Yeah, right.
Like,
I'm sure.
Like maybe I'll just get a new big camera.
Yeah.
There we go. Even better.
Have you ever taken a picture that like you didn't have your good gear with you, so you only had your iPhone, and you're like, oh man, that's a great picture, but I wish I had my Pro stuff with me. Or you've been pretty happy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. A lot of times those are going to be instances that are later in the day, so you're looking at low light. And while the iPhones can do pretty good, as soon as you blow them up large, that's where they start to fall apart. And so you start to run into problems. If it's the middle of the day and really good light, the iPhone does an amazing job. And I've gotten some print-worthy and award-worthy images out of my iPhone. But it just depends on the lighting and the conditions. And you can do a lot more and have a lot more flexibility with the larger camera.
Yeah. Okay.
Jim, do you miss your camera?
I do. I would love to get another one, but I have as a Nikon guy, and I feel like Nikon has kind of gotten away from DSLRs, or not totally, but it seems like mirrorless is now the big thing that everyone loves. So I don't know what to do, and maybe a Sony, but that's if I'm going to spend $1,500 on something, it's not going to be an iPhone. It's going to be a camera, and I don't have $1,500 to spend on that. So someday.
Totally understand.
Yeah. So one last tip question that we can ask, since you probably take hundreds of photos, and a lot of the shots, at least for me, are really similar. So how do you decide what you're going to select a feature and what you're not going to use? Are you erring on this picture was the most technically perfect, or are you picking ones that this captured the moment or the feel that I was going for the best?
So the feel is going to be number one. The impact of an image is always going to trump technical perfection. But technical perfection is important. So if I have several images that are very similar and they all have similar emotional impact, I will go for the one that is the most technically correct. But the story is always going to be the most important part. So for you guys, if you're capturing photos of your kids running down the field playing soccer, whatever sport that they're into, the one that captures the best expression and that memory and just that makes you smile every time you see it is going to be way more important, even if it's blurry, than the one that is perfectly sharp where their face is a little bit wonky. It's going to be that emotional impact that's going to keep you.
That's good tips.
Speaking of tips, how about anybody that wants to get into photography? Any tips to get them there?
Sure. So I mentioned earlier joining a camera club. I think that is a really great way to find out what your art community is like around you. So if you go online and you just search for, whatever city you're in, photography club, camera club, there's going to be a ton of them out there. You can go to something like meetup.com. There's going to be stuff there. And find a group of similar-minded people. Here in the San Diego area, we have many, many, many camera clubs. And so when somebody has an area like that with lots to choose from, I say visit lots of them and see which group of people you kind of mesh with best, which ones are kind of your people, and then go hang out with them, join their club, go on outings with them. The club that I'm a part of right now, it's called Dark Rumors Photographic Club. And we do presentations, we do photo critiques, and we actually print our work. So that's what makes this club different, is we're not just projecting our images up on a screen. We actually make physical prints and bring in judges every month to give us constructive feedback. And that's how we learn and make our images better.
Oh, cool.
So we have, different educational speakers, and then we go on, photo walks and do different things together and go out and shoot together. And it's a great way to make friends. It's a great way to learn your camera. It's a great way to learn different things about photography and art in general. So that's, I think, for anybody who's really serious about learning the craft of photography, not necessarily become a photographer as a job, to first learn the craft of photography. Once you've done that and you've kind of gotten your style and you're comfortable with the taking of the pictures, you can join professional organizations like PPA, the Professional Photographers of America, or whatever your local chapter is. And those are going to be organizations that can give you, instructions on pricing and business and all of those kinds of things, if that's the direction you want to go.
Now, would you recommend someone, if they're interested in it but not quite sure, start with their iPhone if they already have one, or jump into the world of an actual camera?
It depends on where they want to go with it. But I mean, if you have already an iPhone, use what you have. You don't have to go out and spend additional money right away. And it's a really good thing to understand why you're upgrading to another piece of equipment, not just because I need to have this piece of equipment because I think this is going to make me a better photographer, but to go, okay, here's where I know things are falling short with my iPhone. This is where the technology isn't quite where I need it to be. And I need to have this focal length of a lens, or I need to have this amount of light sensitivity and be able to blow things up bigger, and know exactly why you're buying a new camera as opposed to just wanting shiny new toy. I mean, we all like shiny new toys, but
right.
That's the fun. There's a little fun in getting that shiny new toy, but that's great.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, I think that covered our general questions, right, Zach?
Yeah, I'm excited to what the ones
round?
you came up with. Yeah. So
we got the lightning round speed questions for you. This is a first here on Backyard Road Trips. Okay. Favorite road trip snack? Go.
I have two.
Okay.
Gummy bears, and it has to be, I'm trying to remember the brand name. It's the Albanese gummy bears.
I didn't know there were more than one brands of gummy bears. Okay. I'm learning
these
so much
ones are
today.
really good, and they have actual fruit flavor. They're just, they're good. I can't say they're a clean food, but they're tasty. And then Dots pretzels, again, not healthy at all, but I only let myself get them on road trips. So the Dots pretzels, I love them. I swear they're like crack. They're so good.
Okay, great. Sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Excellent. And is that just in general or just for photography?
Sunrise is an awesome time to be out photographing because there's not as many people around and it's beautiful. But I'm just not much of a morning person. I'd much rather be out at sunset and then stay out late than get up at the crack of dawn.
All right.
I do it on occasion, but it's not my favorite.
Camera app that you cannot live without.
Oh, okay. So for editing and stuff on my phone, I use Lightroom a lot. But as far as planning shots, there's one I use called the Photographer's Ephemeris. And it's TPE is what it's short for. And it's a planning app that has your sunrises and your sunsets and all of this information for planning where you want to be at specific times to catch the best light.
Excellent. Okay, if you could shoot with only one lens for the rest of your life, what would you use?
24-105.
Oh, it's a big one. You get everything you need in that. Okay.
Exactly. It's an amazing walk-around lens. I've got the Canon RF 24-105. It's an f4. So it does pretty good in low light. It's not as good as a 2.8, but that makes the lens bigger, heavier, all that. So f4 is really a good balance. And it's a great focal range because you have wide angle all the way into a bit of zoom, and I love it.
Does it keep at f4 if you're zoomed all the way out? Wow, that's good. That's great. Oh, it makes it a very versatile lens. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Last question.
I think it's kind of cool hearing this because it sounds like you guys are like talking about engines of cars or something.
So let's get
the
change the muffler fluid in that, right?
V8, V12, I don't know, 9 volt. So.
I guess it still is Latin, isn't it? It's
So yeah. Well, no, it's cool. Like just to be able to, be so into your craft, and Jim is as well. And just, I think that's fun.
I'm just Googling all this. I don't know any of it. I'm just
kidding. Right. Mr. Modest over here. Shy and modest
Shy
Jim.
and modest, yeah. All right, your last question, okay? You get this right, you win the round. What is a popular trend you secretly can't stand?
I was thinking on this one earlier, trying to think what I would come up with. And I think, like we were saying earlier, the photographers who go out there and do stupid things and ruin it for everybody else, and then nobody else can go back and do that thing.
What's a stupid thing?
For instance, people who took drones and flew them in military airspace or in fires or things like that. And so nobody can fly a drone now in a national park or, those kinds of things. It kind of ruined it for everybody. So if you were out there flying drones when they first became popular, there was some amazing stuff that people were capturing. I didn't get into it soon enough, but I had friends who did. And then by the time I was like, okay, I think I want to do this, it started getting so overregulated. And there were a handful of people out there who just ruined it for everybody.
Yeah. Right. That's like every law that exists now is because someone ruined it. Thanks, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, drones, you're so right. Yeah. Maybe it was in Connecticut when we had like a wildfire and they couldn't deploy someone because their drone was out and the plane couldn't go out. It's like, thanks a lot.
Wow,
That's
really?
helpful.
Oh, jeez.
So people ruining things for everybody else.
I remember that with like urban exploration a little bit too. That a lot of people would want to go and just go into, back when we were younger, we urbanly explored. Is that a real term?
Yeah.
And
hashtag urbex.
Right, exactly. And then people would just go to these spots and break stuff and whatever, drink and be obnoxious. And then it's like, okay, great. Now there's more restrictions on whatever that might be. Definitely. I thought you were going to say a popular trend like mustaches coming back, or like the mullet coming back being secretly can't stand, and didn't know where that was going.
That could be true. You can add that. It doesn't have to be photography based. Yeah.
This was great, Angela. Thank you so much for being with us. So, can you just give a shout out to where the listeners can find out a little bit more about you, your website, anything that you can tell us a little bit about?
Yeah. So if you want to find me and find my photography, you can go to angelaandrieux.com, AngelaAndrieux. And hopefully that'll be in the show notes because that's a hard one to remember spelling. So that's where you can find my photography portfolio. You can find my blog, things that I write about. And then for my work, I work with Mylio Photos, photo management. You can find us at mylio.com. If you go to community.mylio.com, I'm the primary admin there. So if you want to chat with me with regard to photo organization, you can find me there. And all of those have their links out to the various socials.
Perfect. Awesome. Well, thank you, Angela, for taking your time with us this evening.
Thank you. It's been a lot of fun. You guys you've been great to talk to.
Oh, thanks. We didn't have to pay you to say it that time. This is what a great guest you've been. Wow.
And I didn't even throw anything at you.
Not even a tomato from coast to coast. This has been Backyard Road Trips. I'm Zach.
I'm Jim.
I'm Angela.
Yeah, great.
Oh, there we go. Yep. Sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry,
you got it.
You can find us at backyardroadtrips.com and all of your favorite social media sites.